The Cerati were masters of silence. For 10,000 years, they had roamed the stars unseen, unheard, unchallenged. Their cloaking technology was the envy of the galaxy, layered quantum folding, psionic masking, sound nullification fields. They had stolen from empires mid-sentence, sabotaged fleets mid-flight, and dissected entire species under their noses. And now they had come to Earth. Observation Outpost Theta 9, nestled in orbit, watched over the human capital they called New London. 6 Cerati operatives infiltrated its government and infrastructure over a 3-month period. Their goal: infiltration, assessment, and potential neutralization of the human threat. But the humans had shown none. No hypertech. No planetary shielding. Primitive compared to the galactic core. The Cerati grew comfortable, then arrogant. Until the whisper. Operative Tren's report, classified level Sigma. Voice log, encrypted access. Subject Alpha Human, codename Maddox, entered the library at 0400 hours. I followed him. I was fully cloaked, layered with 3 redundancy phases, no audible trace. Even my breath was molecularly diffused.
He moved between shelves.
Reading paper books. Paper for stars' sake. I stood beside him. Less than a meter. Then he turned his head.
Slowly.
As if he knew. And he whispered, "You smell like mint and fear. Unintelligible static. Mission compromised. Recommend planetary withdrawal. Immediate." 1 week earlier. Agent Cole Maddox wasn't normal. Not anymore. After surviving the Vega Rift explosion during the last Terran Consortium war, Cole had changed. Doctors said it was neural rewiring. Others whispered about latent psionics. Whatever the cause, Cole began to notice things. Shadows that didn't align. Breathing where no one stood. The feeling of being watched when all eyes were closed. And then he heard them. Not speech. Not sound. A presence. Like a second skin brushing his brain. He began testing it. Leaving coded messages in empty rooms. Whispering odd phrases at blank walls. Watching the air shimmer when no breeze blew. Until one night, in a silent museum, he whispered, "I know you're there." And something ran. Cerati command, emergency transmission. "We have a breach. One human knows. Not suspects knows." Operative Tren was nearly neutralized by auditory response. Psionic intrusion suspected. Subject Maddox is to be observed at a distance. Do not engage. He whispered to a cloaked unit and made contact. We must assume total perception breach. Cole's apartment, 0200 hours. He was sitting in the dark, barefoot, sipping lukewarm coffee. No lights on. No devices active. Just him, his breath, and the whisper-thin hum of something pretending to be silence. 3rd time this week, he muttered. You're not learning. The air flickered in the far corner. Not visibly, but spiritually. Like a muscle tightening in the back of his mind. You still think your cloaks work? Cole stood slowly. You know what gave you away? The sound of nothing. That's not natural. Humans are chaos. Background noise. When it stops, he tilted his head. That's when I know you're there. The Cerati operative, whose name had no proper phonetic translation, began preparing its self-termination sequence. Before it could activate, Cole crossed the room and whispered, I've already jammed your kill switch, and smiled. The briefing, UN Black Site Sigma 4. Sir, Dr. Lena Yuan spoke. Cole isn't guessing. His brain has mapped the Cerati presence into intuitive markers. He's literally feeling their camouflage. How? The director barked. Because Cerati cloaking doesn't block instinct. It's perfect visually, but humans evolved alongside predators. Our brain registers tiny changes. Maddox's neural trauma amplified that. So, he can hunt them?
Better than that, she said.
He can speak to them, through fear. Operative Kral's personal log, unsecured. We cannot stay. He hunts like a predator. Not with tech. Not with sight. With awareness. He speaks in riddles, but each one cuts. Tonight, I stood cloaked inside a concrete structure. He walked in.
Paused.
then looked right at me. He said, "You're hiding like a child behind a curtain, forgetting your toes stick out." And then he left. I have not moved for 3 hours. I fear. I breathe too loud. Cole's apartment, night of the breach. They came in force. 8 Cerati assassins. Highest clearance. Trained for silence, invisibility, neutralization. They entered through vents, shadows, walls. Cole was waiting in the center of the room, eyes closed. "You know," he whispered, "I used to think I was going crazy." Voices. Goosebumps. Hearing thoughts. He opened his eyes. I realized it wasn't madness. It was you. The room detonated in noise. Not explosions, revelation. Each assassin was pulled from Cloak by sheer force of presence. Cole saw them without seeing. Moved without thinking. A flick of a chair leg sent one crashing into another. A coffee mug shattered a toxin canister before it opened. He moved like someone not fighting aid, just dancing with inevitability. And he whispered as they fell, "You were never invisible, just ignored." 3 days later, Galactic High Council emergency broadcast. The Cerati cloaking protocol has been breached. Withdrawal from Sol system recommended. Human psionics remain unexplained. One man, a fracture in logic, a breach in silence, has undone 10,000 years of dominance. Humanity is not to be underestimated. They are not unaware. They are listening. Epilogue. Somewhere in the woods of Earth, Cole stood alone, wind brushing through pine trees. No cloaks. No operatives. Just the wind. And still he whispered, "I know you're out there. You always are. And I'll keep talking until you listen. Because humans don't need to see to know. They feel. They sense. They whisper to the dark, and the dark answers. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info.